Morris, Hugh Evans, and Ed F. Rush are the officials. Very supportive crowd despite the pounding that the Cavaliers have taken on radio talk shows and the local newspapers. As the Nets control the tip, this is Ramil Robinson, picked up on a switch, then gets it over to Derek Coleman, who shoots over Nance. Rebound handled by Morris.
One thing that the Nets will try to do is control tempo this afternoon. They came out in game one and tried to run and establish an up-tempo. It was not to their advantage.
The block by Doherty, and the Cavaliers to the offense for the first time. Elo for three. Rebounded by Mahorn, and that outlet pass went astray. Rick Mahorn tried to unload for Ramil Robinson.
One of the strengths of this Cavalier defense all year has been their ability to change or block shots. Brad Doherty, not what you would consider a big-time shot blocker, gets his share right there.
Cavaliers calling out a play. Petrovic on Elo. Here's Doherty backing Mahorn. And Mahorn with the rebound. Rick Mahorn has had a bout with the flu over the last week. Says he's feeling much better. Not expected that Rick Mahorn would be the starting center, but the injuries to Sam Bowie and Chris Dudley have put the Nets in this position with Dwayne Shinsis coming off the bench to spell Mahorn. That's a three-pointer for Chris Morris.
Or you can say what you want about Derek Coleman being the main guy for the New Jersey Nets, but to me, if they are to win today, Chris Morris has to step up and have a big game. When he plays well and performs on a regular basis and gets them numbers, they win a lot of basketball games.
Good play by Morris to knock it away, leading to this. Robinson was fouled. Fouled by Elo. Yes, Chris Morris Friday night in that stunning Nets victory in Game 4 had a 9 for 12 for 22 points, along with 10 rebounds and 4 steals.
You just don't know which nights Chris Morris is going to show up and play. Some nights he's out there, plays as well as any All-Star does. Other games, it seems like he's on vacation. If he understood the importance and the contributions he makes to this team, and they play at a different level, it'd be a completely different story.
Well, there is the feeling that Chuck Daly did reach Chris Morris a bit more this year because he was playing well and then had a bout with the flu, and then his quality of play did drop back down, and it has raised here in the playoffs. Elo. Cavaliers with their first basket. The Nets lead 5-2.
And one thing Lenny Wilkins stressed to this team in practice yesterday was they must execute their offense, patience, pass the basketball, try and get your shots as a result of the offensive flow and movement. When you have a big man like a Brad Doherty that can pass the basketball as well as he can, you can run little backdoor plays and get easy scores like Elo did.
Brad Doherty was called for that foul. Mahorn handles the inbound. This is Morris. Played up tight by Sanders. Mike Sanders, a very strong defensive player. Morris isolated and fires. That's a bad shot.
Yeah, I mean, you pound it, you pound it, you pound it, you pound it, you back them down, and then you turn around and you shoot a 22-foot fadeaway. Not a good shot.
Doherty saw the opening. Nets 5 and the Cavaliers 4. This a net team that went 43 and 39 as Petrovic is called for the push-up.
The pressure of Craig Elo, who during the course of the year got a pretty tough job guarding the two men in the NBA. Michael Jordan, one of his main adversaries, Drazen Petrovic, I would think a little bit easier to guard.
Nice move by Nance, switching hands in midair. That pass picked off by Sanders. Here's Price for Nance. Yes. A good run by Cleveland. They now lead 8-5. They've scored 8 consecutive.
I was mentioning that Lenny Wilkins had a couple things he emphasized yesterday. One was to get back in transition defense. Too many 3-on-2s for the Nets. The other was to get shots for Larry Nance in the flow of the offense, not just post them up in isolations. Transition basketball, well, that's one way of producing easy shots. The other, his ability to put it on the floor and take it to the basket.
Cavaliers have come out very aggressively. Derek Coleman ends the 8-0 run. And the Cavaliers with an 8-7 lead. As I started to say, the Nets 43-39 in the regular season. They struggled with key injuries down the stretch, lost 10 of the last 11, which is why their performance in this series has been a major surprise, in particular when you consider the Cavaliers finished the season winning 11 of their last 12. Pushing foul called on Petrovic, so that's a quick 2 on Petrovic, and he will sit down. Rafael Addison, third-year player from Syracuse, has checked in.
Petrovic had produced a lot of easy points for New Jersey because he loves to run out when the opponent is taking jump shots. He leaves right away. It was causing Elo to pay attention and match up with him. He's out of the game right now.
Foul on Mahorn, and Sanders will go to the line.
A much more aggressive attitude early in the game by the Cleveland Cavaliers, who were accused of being very passive in game number 4. You've already seen Nance take it to the basket strong, Daugherty take it to the basket, and now they're small forward.
Sanders, a 76% free throw shooter. Mike Sanders missed 29 games this past regular season after undergoing arthroscopic surgery on his left knee. Very important player in the mix. They suffered when he was out of the lineup.
You need pieces to make up the total picture. He is one of those pieces that will dig in defensively, do a good job, can make the 17-foot jump on a regular basis when he's left open, and doesn't need a lot of plays run for him. He understands his role.
2:09 remaining. First quarter, Nets and Cavaliers tied at 18. Cavaliers have had major problems in this series, and you can see why, as their normal production has dipped in the playoffs.
Whether you credit the fact that New Jersey has dug in and played very good defense against them, or the fact that you have a couple guys who are injured and banged up out there that aren't shooting the ball and scoring as well. Larry Nance, Mark Price is an example. The fact remains they are having a difficult time scoring points off an offense that normally is most difficult to stop.
Wayne Shensis and Maurice Cheeks have checked in for the first time. Addison not able to hit the three-pointer. John Hot Rod Williams now up front with Brad Daugherty and Larry Nance, Terrell Brandon and Gerald Wilkins in the backcourt. Brandon played well by Cheeks. Shot clock at 7. Williams and Coleman getting the good position on Nance.
Talking to Chuck Daly, he said Maurice Cheeks in game 4 was vintage Maurice Cheeks. 5 out of 7 from the floor, just gave him valuable minutes, great decision maker, and he knocked out the big open jump shots when he had to.
Addison with another nice move. Rafael Addison off the bench. He's played well. Originally a second-round pick of Phoenix out of Syracuse, played in Italy for 3 years, then signed with the Nets as a free agent. He's been a spot starter. Wilkins coming up short. And here comes Cheeks. 1 minute remaining, first quarter. The Nets with the ball, lead by 2. Shensis does it again. Wayne Shensis played 25 minutes on Friday night, hit 5 out of 8 for 10 points. In his 4th year out of the University of Florida, originally a first-round pick of San Antonio. In 1990, spent a year with the Spurs, one with Sacramento, dealt for Antoine Carr. And that signed him as a free agent this season. An injury hit year, played only 5 regular season games, and Mike, he's made it back from lower back surgery.
Well, I don't know how you feel about it, but right now, as Derek Coleman said, we have nothing to lose. We're going to be loose and easy and just go out there and have fun. That's the way it looks right now with New Jersey.
Here's Brandon. The Nets lead 20-20, half minute to go in this opening quarter. 36-year-old Maurice Cheeks handling against Terrell Brandon and sets up Derek Coleman. Yes, the Nets by 4. 17 seconds left in this opening quarter.
Derek Coleman shooting almost 55% in these 4 games against Cleveland, and leading this Nets team 2 for 3 last game from the three-point line, so he's got it all going right now, inside and out.
Here's Brandon. Time running out, first quarter. So a solid first quarter for the upset-minded New Jersey Nets. They lead the Cavaliers 24-20.
While everybody questioned this team when I was in the locker room before the game, they didn't seem surprised that they were here. They seemed very confident.
Well, I think that's important to be a pro player. You've been there, you know that. I think right now we're 36 minutes away from being in the second round. If it could happen, we don't know. I mean, I think that's when you play the game, because you know anything can happen. We've been very happy with this team.
All right, Willis, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
All right, Marv.
All right, and yesterday, the 23rd anniversary of that Knick championship victory over the Los Angeles Lakers that was inspired by Willis Reed, as Coleman is able to tip it home to get the second quarter underway, and the Nets now lead 26-20. Willis Reed limping out of the court, hitting those two early jump shots, and the Knicks went on to beat the Lakers in the seventh and final game back in the 69-70 season. Willis, your one-time assistant coach with the Atlanta Hawks. Hot Rod Williams with a nice move.
The greatest years when I was coaching in Atlanta, when Willis Reed was part of that staff, along with Brendan Sir, now Chuck Daly's assistant coach, did a wonderful job working with the big people, really helping in developing Kevin Willis.
Coleman backing up. That time forced the shot on the double team. Now Doherty puts the move on Shinsis, and the foul is called. So Shinsis called for his first. Apparently that tip in a moment ago was credited to Chris Morris. So Morris has 7 points. And Brad Doherty to the line.
Morris, one of those weak side, offside rebounders who, if you don't pay attention to, because of his tremendous jumping ability, will come flying in, and as he did that last time down, tipped it in for New Jersey.
Brad Doherty hanging in despite the tendonitis in his left knee. Missed a couple of games at the end of the season, but he is playing hurt. Nets by 2. Nance jumping out on a switch, and a foul call. It's on Nance.
You know, Marvin Mott spoke with Willis Reed a few moments ago, and you need to give some credit to both Willis and Chuck Daly. They added 2 very important pieces to what they saw as a talented but young and immature basketball team. They brought in Rick Mahorn and Maurice Cheeks, 2 most valuable players, both who were on NBA championship teams in the past, so they understand what it takes to win.
Here's Morris. Rick Mahorn looked on the floor the other day, saw Cheeks out there, Bernard King himself said this looks like a Legends game. But the veterans have helped, particularly with all the injuries that have cut the Nets down at the end of the year. Doherty has tied the game at 26. He now has 10 points.
A great example of the unselfish play that the Cavalier team has used the entire season, the willingness to give it up to the next guy for a better shot.
6-0 run by Cleveland. Morris. And Doherty for the rebound. Brandon with the hesitation dribble, rejected by Coleman. They both go down. Appear to be all right.
Now, on most teams, when you get a player at 6'10" that makes him strong move to the lane, he's going to shoot this shot, but not Larry Nance. He sees his teammate, Doherty, is wide open, more than willing to give it up. And when you talk about team defense, you get your 6'10" power forward, hustling back, it saves 2 easy points.
Shot clock down to 7. Here's Brandon. Cavaliers lead by 2.
That's the one player that the Nets were counting on, would have to prove he can make outside shots. He's hit 2 big jumpers for Cleveland.
8-0 run by the Cavaliers. Shinsis. Dwayne Shinsis again. That is his second field goal. And the game is tied at at 28.
I asked Chuck Daly when he first signed Dwayne, were you nervous at all taking a chance? He said, well, I was until I saw the first commitment. He was willing to cut his hair when he came into the office to have a meeting. I felt then that he was ready to take the next step in maturity.
Nets and Cavaliers tied at 28 with 8.5 remaining in the first half. Marv Albert, Mike Fratello, Ahmad Rashad from the Coliseum in Richfield. Shinsis backs up, and that time came up short. Mark Price sitting down after picking up his second foul. Last touch by Shinsis. And Drazen Petrovic went out early after collecting his second foul. Down low, Hot Rod Williams, and Derek Coleman got involved, and a hold is on Coleman. That is his first.
Coleman knew he was in trouble. Hot Rod had him down too deep on the block area, so he wraps those arms around holes down there. You have to meet the player higher so he doesn't get you pinned that low.
Now Nance off the head fake, cheeks over to help. Here's Brandon. Yes. Brandon has connected on 3 of 3. The Cavaliers 30, the Nets 28.
One thing Lenny Wilkins had hoped he could do would be produce shots through the motion and movement in their offense, but he has had to change and adjust here in the game. He's gone to 3 straight post-ups to try and hurt New Jersey's defense.
Foul on the Cavaliers. Brandon came over to help. And that is his first. Raphael Addison getting much playing time here in the first half. In Cheeks in the backcourt. Brandon again over to help. He was looking for the open man, and Brandon with the steal. Nance. And Morris may have gotten a piece of it.
We talked about the athleticism of a Chris Morris. Hustles back, gets the block. If you hold the ball too long down in the post area, those hands are eventually going to get to you and produce the turnover. The great hustle by Morris, and then on the dunk attempt, all basketball.
Mike Mathis blowing the whistle at center court. They've reset the clock. Apparently they had not reset the 24-second clock. That's why he called for the stoppage.
Willis Reed just sat down, stood up to question what was going on himself. A spectator, a fan, but part of the Nets organization. He wants it to be the correct call.
As Willis 3 rows deep right behind the official scorer. And when he stands up, you know it's Willis.
But nobody yelled out, sit down.
Hot Rod Williams. Yes. Cavaliers lead by 4. It's their biggest lead of the game. Defense from the crowd with 6:40 remaining. First half. Coleman being played very well. Wilkins over to help. Cheek shoots. Just to beat the 24. Morris with the rebound. Chris Morris getting inside. He has 9. The Cavaliers now lead by 2.
It's easy to see that everything from Jersey is coming on the inside. The absence of Drazen Petrovic, they need him out there to extend that Cavalier defense. Right now, it's a very aggressive Cleveland defense.
Here is Wilkins. Rebounded by Nance. And the Cavaliers regroup. Williams from Doherty. The Cavs 34, the Nets 30.
This is the front line that Chuck Daly feared would hurt them. The big front line of Nance, Williams, and Doherty.
The Nets call for time with 5:45 left in this first half. All right, Bob, and it has been a good shooting first half for the Cleveland Cavaliers. For the series, only at 45%. In this first half, 17 of 33, 52%, while the Nets have struggled at 4 out of 16 in the second quarter.
When you're shooting 52% like Cleveland is, what it means to New Jersey, not a lot of transition scores coming their way. They've been forced to do it in the half-court offense, which is tough against this big Cavalier defense.
Robinson trying to penetrate. Shipsis on the recovery. That's his third field goal. He has 6. Cavaliers 40, the Nets 34. 2:35 remaining in the first half. Mark Price has been on the bench during this good Cavalier run, picked up the early fouls, but Terrell Brandon has shot very well. Here's Brandon left open. Yes! He is 5 of 6 for 10 points.
And Lenny Wilkins is riding Terrell Brandon. He feels that right now this guy is doing as good a job as you can expect. Price has been struggling. Stay with the hot hand.
Terrell Brandon in his second NBA season out of the University of Oregon. He has 10 points. He and Doherty have a high point match. Chris Morris with 11.
Asking for Chris Morris.
And he's the leading scorer for the Nets, who now trail by 6. New Jersey only 29% from the field in the second quarter after the good shooting first quarter. And you can see the Cavaliers just under 70%. Wilkins against his good friend Petrovic. That's a goaltend. The basket will count. Ever since Gerald Wilkins' days with the New York Knicks, he and Drazen Petrovic have just gone at each other in the trash talk department. As you look at the goaltend called on Shitsis, it's gotten to the point, though, with Gerald Wilkins that it upset the coach, Lenny Wilkins, and he had to pull him out of a couple of games earlier in the series. Lenny feels it distracts Gerald from his game.
Gerald also feels that the notoriety that he's received because of it has caused officials to look at his game a little bit differently, coming down on him with maybe a quicker whistle than they normally would. He thinks the media has taken it and blown it out of proportion.
Mike Mathis over to the scorer's table with an explanation. Apparently Derek Coleman was hit with a technical. Hot Rod Williams called with a personal, and then Derek Coleman called for the tee. Here's the announcement.
First time in the series that Derek Coleman has really lost his composure. Everyone had been writing and talking about how he has basically just gone out and played the game and done his job. It starts down in the low post area, jockeying for position, back and forth, the bump, the shove, and then after the technical foul is called, Chuck not real happy with it.
Cavaliers by 9 as we come up on a minute to go in the half. Robinson recaptures. And Wilkins pushes it down. The lead for Williams. Hot Rod Williams not able to stop it. And that was good communication between Wilkins and Williams. Crowd wanted to travel on Petrovic, but it was deflected out by the Cavaliers.
In transition, keep your heads up, lay it out there, let your big men go get it. Hot Rod just can't control it enough to finish off the dunk attempt.
48 seconds left in this first half. Fifth and deciding game between the Nets and the Cavaliers. Morris with the wide open shot. 13 for Chris Morris. Cavs 45, the Nets 38.
It's one of the few times that Jersey has gotten the basket as a result of ball movement. Swing it to the open man, get a wide open shot, don't force it.
Doherty with the jump hook. Coleman with the rebound. 20 seconds left in the half. Nice lead for Ramil Robinson, but he blew the layup.
Fourth layup that Jersey has missed in transition here in the first half.
10 seconds to go in the half. Nance pitches back to Doherty. And Brad Doherty works his way inside. 2 and 9 seconds left in the half. Cavaliers lead 47 to 38. Robinson from center court. And the Nets get to it. Ramil Robinson Robinson and Drazen Petrovic in the backcourt. Derek Coleman, Chris Morris, Rick Mahorn up front. Rick Mahorn, the starter at center, over the injury suffered by Sam Bowie and Chris Dudley. And Wayne Shinsis comes off the bench, and again Shinsis did a nice job. Robinson for three. Yes. Ramil Robinson converts the three-pointer. The Cavaliers 47, the Nets 41.
One area where New Jersey has struggled over the last 3 quarters, if you think about it, is scoring points. If you go back to the last game, as Larry Nance comes off a baseline screen and hits a jumper. If you go back to quarter number 4, in the last game, New Jersey scored only 8 points in that quarter, and now only 38 in the first half, so 46 points in the last 3 quarters of play.
Coleman with the steal. Coleman sets up for 3 and hits. And the Nets have turned it around. They move within 4. Ramil Robinson with a couple of buckets. And now Derek Coleman off the steal. Cleveland takes a 20. Correction on the score. The scoreboard was incorrect. It is now 49-46. A 3-point differential.
Perhaps the message came across at halftime that you must become more aggressive. One of their trademarks in this series has been their defense, the ability to cut down on Cleveland's offensive productivity. On the inbounds pass, they come up with another steal, and the result, another easy look at the basket. This time Coleman puts it down.
Nets have come out and outscored the Cavaliers 8-2. First minute 20 of this third quarter. So Lenny Wilkins taking the quickie 20-second timeout. Nets have hit their first 3 shots, including the 3-pointer by Ramil Robinson. Nance. He has 13.
When the ball is being entered from that far out on the perimeter, you cannot stand behind in the low post. There's no reason for it. It's a most difficult area to try and throw any lob. Take away the post look, come around in front a little harder.
Petrovic having difficulty getting his shots. Elo. Robinson back. Nice move by Elo to free himself up.
And you said it, you hit it right on the head. Because Drazen Petrovic knows he's having a problem getting shots off. He only had 1 shot attempt in the first half. He forced the last shot. They didn't need that shot from Drazen.
Coleman lost it. Good play by Williams. Mark Price. Yes. And that is his first field goal. His first shot attempt. Cavaliers 55. The Nets 46. Robinson with a beautiful ball fake. Could not complete it.
That goes back to that mentality that Ramil had in Atlanta of shoot first, pass later. You're right, it was a nice ball fake. Unfortunately, nothing came good as a result of it.
Well, a 6-0 run by the Cavaliers, and they now lead by 9.
Mark Price, with only 7 minutes of playing time in the first half, had no field goal attempts. He hits his first one. The reason for it, Terrell Brandon, 5 out of 7, played very well for Cleveland.
Elo. Doherty on the ball. Stripped by Petrovic. Elo tries to draw the foul. No call made, and Drazen Petrovic comes up with his first field goal. Drazen Petrovic, the Olympic point guard for Croatia, one of the best standstill jump shooters in the NBA. And that was only his first field goal. Doherty backs his way, and Mike Mathis with the call against Doherty.
Let's go back a moment ago for New Jersey. The good defense by Petro getting the swipe and the ball for New Jersey. Then down at the other end of the floor, a little acting job by Elo trying to pick up the offensive foul. It gives Drazen a clean look at the basket. He's going to make that one.
Second foul on Brad Doherty. Here's another look at it. Price for Elo. Oh, look out. That's a flagrant. Ramil Robinson very aggressively decking Craig Elo.
I think you're seeing the frustration in Neil Robinson because of some of the easy layups that he's missed in the game. This time getting caught back once again defensively. There's no need for this. If you're going to foul, don't try and hurt him by pulling him backwards as he's taken off from the ground.
So Elo converting on the flagrant foul technical.
And this makes it easy. When you grab them up on the shoulder area as they take off, pull them to the ground, it makes it an easy call for the officials to give them the ball back on the flagrant call.
8 points for Craig Elo. And the Cavaliers have settled down after that good run by the Nets to start the third quarter. 4 minutes have gone by, and the Cavs now lead 57-48.
So after the excellent start, Jersey's right back where they were, and Price that time an air ball with steam
On Friday night, and then in game 3, he shot 2 of 12, and he's now 1 for 13 from three-point range. That's a three-point attempt by Robinson. Loose ball foul called on Mahorn. Let's go over to Ahmad Rashad.
All right, Marvin, speaking about Mark Price, I talked to him before the game. He said that thumb is bothering him, especially when he's shooting. It's listed as a sprained thumb, but he told me he has a torn ligament in it that he doesn't think is going to get well till next summer. He just has to play through it. Mark?
Ahmad, that injury suffered back in early March in a game against the Seattle Supersonics. He missed several games, then came back, had some shooting problems. Price this time goes the three, and he's trying to get himself going. Chuck Daly calls for time.
Mark Price is not a guy that usually has a whole lot to say, but he knows he's been struggling. He needs something to get himself going. Maybe it's just talking a little trash for Mark Price.
Three-point shooting. Cleveland now 1 out of 4, only 33% for the series for this normally excellent shooting club from downtown. Mark Price hitting that three a moment ago. Here is Petrovic. And Coleman with the rebound. Coleman thought he was fouled.
This is a big Cavalier front line. It's not easy to get a good look at the basket. It goes off of Derek Coleman's back. And as we notice, New Jersey struggling, shooting under 40% from the floor right now. Keep in mind the fatigue factor. These players, because of the injuries, have played a lot of minutes. Coleman has had 2 games of 48 minutes already. It could be catching up to him.
Shot clock at 1, and Doherty is able to hit. He now has 12 points. A 13-2 run by the Cavaliers. The Nets have missed their last 6 field goal attempts. The chant of defense. Robinson played on a switch. Mahorn is turned back by Nance. 3-on-2. And Price finds the jumper. Mark Price surprised himself to be that open.
And also a little bit of hesitancy on his part, not willing to pull the trigger as quickly because of the injured thumb and the fact that he has been struggling from the floor.
Coleman off the dribble. What a shot by Derek Coleman. And then Mike Mathis blows the whistle. Rick Mahorn and Larry Nance having words. And Mahorn is being guided aside by Chris Morris. Now Larry Nance is a player who rarely gets involved.
Larry Nance doesn't want to fight. Neither does Rick Mahorn, because if I remember correctly, he's the one that recently said if a player throws a punch, he should be suspended for a lot of games, not just 1 or 2 games. Make it serious, he said. Suspend him for 5, 6, 7 games. They won't do it again. Not if you hit him in the pocketbook. He does not want his pocketbook dented at all.
Mike Mathis over to the scorer's table. Personal on Mahorn.
And a technical foul on Larry Nance.
But a technical called on Nance. Drazen Petrovic will shoot the technical.
It just balances out the early technical against Derek Coleman. It makes it 1 apiece for each team.
Rick Mahorn,
Cavaliers 62, the Nets 51. Let's go back to Ahmad.
All right, Marv, that whole thing started between Nance and Rick Mahorn early in the third quarter when Mahorn gave Larry Nance a strong shot to the chest. I guess that was a little payback there.
And here's Nance. Rebounded by Coleman. The Nets now have missed their last 7 field goal attempts.
Drazen Petrovic with only 3 points in this game. He's averaging 17 in this 4-game series.
And Coleman will go to the line. Fouled by Williams.
Every once in a while, Derek Coleman takes it upon himself to try and do too much. He gets very frustrated if he feels that the other guys are not pulling their end of it. He then tries to really exert himself, and instead of helping, it can hurt the team.
Here's Coleman. Strong drive. He has 15. Mike Sanders getting set to check it. Here's Price. Derek Coleman came up hobbling. Derek Coleman now handling the ball.
They were supposed to trap that last pick-and-roll situation. After the shot, Chris Morris looked back at his teammates, gave him the signal of closing it down, trap on Price. It's Terrell Brandon. They go underneath the screen, not Mark Price.
Coleman launches a 3, a bad shot. And Elo took a check from Morris, and the crowd wanted a foul, but nothing called.
Replacing Hot Rod Williams.
Hot Rod Williams sits down, replaced by Mike Sanders.
Well, there's going to be contact if Elo steps in the way of Morris. Morris is entitled to chase the ball down. It's a block out. Doesn't matter where you block out, whether it's near the rim or on the out-of-bounds line. As you're watching the ball go out, you have to expect body contact if you step in the path of the opposing player.
4:47 remaining in the third quarter. Cavaliers lead 64-53. They're able to turn it around in the second quarter, outscoring the Nets 27-14. The Nets shooting only 7 of 22 from the field in the second quarter. Sanders pass picked off by Robinson. Petrovic had it knocked away. Good play by Elo. Last touch by Petrovic.
Another transition opportunity for New Jersey, and another time that they come away from it without any points on the floor. So what does Chuck Daly do? He brings in Maurice Cheeks, the veteran point guard, a little more experience at running the show and making good decisions with the basketball.
And Cheeks now guarding Price. Price used the pick. Nance on the putback. Very strong game for Larry Nance. 15 points. Coming off a 2 of 7 in 33 minutes against the Nets on Friday night. Shinsis to the fadeaway, and he was hacked by Doherty. That's 3 on Brad Doherty.
Chuck Daly talked about moving the basketball more. They've gone strictly to isolations as they come down the floor. This time Coleman had nowhere to go. He gives it up to his teammate Chinchis inside, hit on the arm as he goes up for the shot. Chuck trying to encourage his team to stay with it, we'll make a run somewhere, but you have to stop him at the defensive end.
Well, during his 5 games in the regular season, Dwayne Finsis went to the line only 3 times, hit all 3. Comes up 0 for 2 here, but Cheeks able to get to it. Just under 4 minutes remaining in the third quarter. 5th and deciding game. The Nets surprisingly tied at 2 apiece with the Cavaliers, coming off the stunning win on Friday night. Coleman, yes. Eric Coleman has gone all the way once again. He played 48 minutes in that 96-79 victory on Friday. Coleman has 17 points. The Cavaliers lead by 11. Nance wide open. Rebounded by Morris. That 17-point win, the largest playoff margin of victory in the Nets NBA playoff history. Coleman, yes.
Derek Coleman.
And for the Nets. That was their first road win in the playoffs since back in April of '89. And they need a road win here today to survive. Lenny Wilkens takes a timeout. All right, Bob. And yes, this is the first of our NBA playoff triple-header. They are on their feet here at the Coliseum, urging the Cavaliers on. The Chicago Bulls are waiting for the winner here. That series will open up in Chicago. Long rest period for the Bulls, allowing some of those minor ailments to get better.
They're writing in the paper that just by going 5 games, it's given Michael Jordan a chance to get that ankle better, Scottie Pippen to feel healthy. But if you read the Chicago papers, Phil Jackson said a week off is way too much.
Mark Price with 9 points, so he has scored all of his 9 points in this third quarter. Derek Coleman has had the hot hand of the third with 11 of his 19 in the third quarter. And a foul is called off that change of direction by Maurice Cheeks. It's called on Nance.
It'll be a second.
That is 2 on Nance. Here's Hot Rod Williams. For Larry Nance, 15 points, 5 rebounds, 2 block shots for Nance. Morris, Coleman, and Shensis up front. Cheeks and Petrovic in the backcourt. Drazen Petrovic has been quiet, has not been able to locate his shots. Got in the early foul trouble. Did not play much in the first half. Shensis, and it's tipped. A beautiful tip. A reverse tip by Morris.
It's the Nets' best offense right now. Get it up on the glass and give them a chance to offensive rebound and put it in.
Cavaliers 68, Nets 59.
Less than 2 minutes remain third quarter.
Just under 2 minutes left in the third. Elo for 3. Yes. Greg Elo has 11. It extends to a 71-59 Cleveland lead.
Granted, Drazen Petrovic is trying to recover from that knee injury, but it's tough to hide him defensively. When he guards Price, he hits a 3. When he guards Elo, he hits a 3.
Offensive foul on Cheeks.
Offensive foul on Maurice Cheeks.
The opening closes down quickly. The good position by Sanders takes away the drive to the basket. Chuck can't believe it. What else is going to go wrong this afternoon?
Mike Sanders with the ball. Sanders posting up, and it rolls to Doherty. Brad Doherty, 14 points, along with 16 rebounds.
A technical foul has been assessed to Brad Doherty.
This is an attempt to clean up the players hanging on the rim. They are allowed to hang on the rim if someone is underneath them on the floor, and they are in danger of coming down and landing on another player. But to just hang when there's no one there, they're trying to clean this up. Mike Mathis makes the call, no one underneath Doherty. It's an attempt to stop backboards from breaking or get pulled down in some cases.
Cavaliers by 13. And a foul on Williams.
That is on Hot Rod Williams.
That is number 4 on Hot Rod.
The last 2 minutes.
During the season series, the Nets and the Cavaliers split 4 games, each team splitting at home. Cavaliers have won 15 of the last 16 against the Nets here at the Coliseum, 18 of 20, including the playoffs. This is a net team that went 43 and 39 of the regular season. Injuries killed them down the stretch, and they lost 10 of the last 11. So they have surprised by making it to this 5th and final game as Coleman comes up short on that 3-point attempt. On the other hand, Cleveland with a 54-28 record in the regular season. Second in the Central, 3 games behind the Chicago Bulls. Cheeks off the steal. The NBA's all-time steal leader gets it down for Morris. Rebound Coleman. And the crowd reacts. They wanted a technical call on Coleman for hanging on the rim. Coleman was hit with a tee earlier. The next would mean his departure. Down to 15 seconds remaining in the third. Cavaliers by 11. 4 on the shot clock. Price. And the putback by Sanders. 3 seconds left in the quarter. Morris from center court. Well, Brad Doherty lifting his Cavaliers. 14 points, 17 rebounds, 7 assists for Doherty. And Cleveland leads by 13. We'll be back after these messages. The Cavaliers looking to wrap the series in 5 to set up another meeting with the Chicago Bulls. Brad Doherty has been outstanding. 14 points, 17 rebounds, which ties a Cavalier playoff record, and 7 assists. Brad Doherty considered to be one of the finest passing centers in the game.
Mentioned earlier that Chuck Daly feared the big front line of the Cavaliers. Well, right now between Chris Morris and Derek Coleman, no free throw attempts for either one of them up to this moment right now, which would be the first opportunity for either one of those big guys to get some points on the board from the foul line. Big front lines tend to intimidate teams, tend to make teams turn into jump shooting teams rather than taking it strong to the basket. This time Coleman rewarded.
Hot Rod Williams called for the foul, his 5th. He will be replaced by Larry Nance. Correction on a statement earlier when we were discussing the possibility of a second technical foul called on Derek Coleman. I know you checked it with the official Mike Mathis.
Larry Nance.
Had he been called for hanging on the rim, which would have been a second technical foul, in that case it would not have meant ejection because it was not a technical for an unsportsmanlike act. So the Cavaliers would have been able to go to the line to shoot the technical, but Coleman would not have been ejected. There you have it.
Obviously, nothing needed by me to be added to that. That's exactly the case. It must be 2 unsportsmanlike tees to be ejected from the game. An official does not have to necessarily wait for the second one. If the first one is bad enough, you're gone right then, in his opinion. But for hanging on the rim, no for an offensive player.
And Mark Price has certainly picked it up. He has 11.
A little foul on the inbound pass, the smack on the top of the head as Jersey was inbounding the basketball. Craig Elo reached in and hit him on the top of the head. If you want to carry that rule a little bit further, if a defensive player hangs on the rim and blocks a shot as he's hanging on the rim, that is unsportsmanlike, and he will be ejected if it happens to be his second technical. So a little bit different.
We'll be looking for that play.
Yes. Yes, something I used to do quite a bit. Hang on the rim and block shots.
Illegal defense has been called for the second time against the Cavaliers. Razan Petrovic spending much time at the line shooting technical fouls. This is his 3rd attempt. He hit the previous 2. Razan only 1 out of 5 though from the field. Cavaliers 77 and the Nets 65. Cheeks and Petrovic in the backcourt. Shinsis, Morris, and Coleman up front. Coleman called for steps. Tried to set up for the shot against Nance. He traveled.
Nance is tough to get a good shot against because he has the quickness. He can back off you far enough to move his feet and stay in front of you. Yet those long arms and jumping ability, he can get up and challenge jump shots.
Shinsis with the rebound. Chuck Daly going with the veteran point guard, the 36-year-old Maurice Cheeks. And Cheeks able to recover. Shinsis. Morris again off the board. So Chris Morris has been doing it from inside. Some of his decisions with the outside shooting have not been good ones, but still effective inside. He scored 17 points.
Go to work on the offensive boards. If your outside shot's not going for you, make it happen around the basket.
Cavaliers by 10. Elo on the pull-up. And here comes Petrovic. We are early fourth quarter. 2 minutes have gone by. Both players go down. No call. That was a three-point attempt by Morris.
I don't think the 24-second clock had run down yet to have to hoist that one up.
Official timeout.
And a timeout has been called. 9.5 remaining. Fourth quarter. Cavaliers with a 10-point lead. Just before the timeout, a foul was called on Petrovic. Nance able to get inside. 17 for Nance. And the Cavs lead by 12.
New Jersey trying to stay at home with the perimeter shooters, the deadly three-point weapons that Cleveland has from the outside with Elo and Price out there, but the big people getting high percentage shots and converting for Cleveland.
Derek Coleman with 25. Cavaliers 79 and the Nets 69. Derek Coleman coming off the 21-point, 14-rebound game along with 9 blocked shots. And he played 48 minutes. He's played all the way again today. Oh, what a play by Coleman. He got a piece of it. Recovered, though, by Downey. That's frustrating.
Petrovic had started to take off. Cheeks had started to leak out. The ball laid on the floor. Nobody could get to it until the Cavaliers picked it up.
Cavaliers by 12. Elo chest to chest with Petrovic. Coleman facing a double team. Rebound snatched by Nance. And Price had the pass deflected by Cheeks.
18 seconds.
A little bit of team defense from behind. A little piece of the ball that time by Derek Coleman. It lays on the ground. Doherty with the conversion.
Getting the good position. Shinsis unloads for Petrovic.
And that's what Drazen Petrovic had been doing in the 2 wins against Cleveland. It's something that Lenny Wilkins reminded Craig Elo about time and time again. You must stay with him. He runs out and releases early on the shots.
Price, quick release. Sanders missed the tip. And here comes Coleman, battling with Nance, who's called for his third foul.
On Larry Nance.
When you get the forwards who have the ability to rebound and bust out and start the fast break, it's just that much more of an advantage for the team trying to get into transition. Charles Barkley so good at taking it off the glass, starting the fast break for Phoenix. That time you saw Derek Coleman, the power forward, doing it for New Jersey.
Cleveland committing its third team foul. Open shot for Petrovic. That was a rare sight, but he's off. He's 2 of 7. Nance on a pull-up. Sanders. And Morris with the rebound. Nance with an opportunity to get back into it as Cheeks not able to hit, but again, it's Morris. And the crowd reacts looking for the offensive interference.
If you think it's unusual that you see New Jersey playing pick and roll with Petrovic, the 2 guard, and the 1-man Cheeks, the reason for that, they're trying to get Cleveland to switch so that Price winds up guarding Petrovic. Cheeks in transition, lays it up on the rim. If it's coming off on the way down, then you're allowed to take it and put it back in as Morris does. The officials felt that this ball has come off the front, was below it, therefore you can take it back up and over the top and in. Go back to Chuck Daly's days in Detroit when he used to play pick and roll with Joe Dumars and Vinnie Johnson setting the screens for Isaiah Thomas to get that mismatch.
The Nets foul on Petrovic. He has 4. Illegal defense is called.
Illegal defense. Timeout. Cleveland. Cavaliers timeout.
And Cleveland takes a timeout. 6:50 remaining, fourth quarter. 79 points, a Cleveland franchise playoff low as Derek Coleman carried the Nets to the victory. So it has come down to this. And the Nets are down by 8 with 6:45 remaining in the fourth quarter. Cavs have missed their last 5 shot attempts. Only 3 of 11 in the fourth quarter. Shot clock is at 8. And here's Williams. Offensive foul. Hot Rod Williams called.
Hot Rod Williams. That's his 6th.
And that is his 6th.
Excellent job that time of stepping up by Derek Coleman, not trying to block the shot. He felt he had gotten there in time. He held his position. He had Williams on the run.
And Derek Coleman is shaken up.
As Coleman gets there ahead of time, he establishes position. He's willing to take the contact. It's the elbow that hits him just below the bridge or on the bridge of the nose area. You've got to get it out in front of the rim. He certainly does that.
Timeout is called by the Nets. Just a moment ago, Derek Coleman took a shot from John Hot Rod Williams, who fouled out in the process. Oh, look at the elbow connect on Derek Coleman, who has played all the way. He's gone 42 minutes as a follow-up to the 48 minutes on Friday night, and Derek will remain on the floor. What an effort by the 3-year man out of Syracuse. 25 points, 12 rebounds, 2 block shots for Coleman. Nets very much alive with 6:25 remaining. The Cavaliers lead 81-73. Cavs have led most of the way, taking over in the second quarter, and a foul is called on Nance.
When you pound the ball down low inside and are willing to draw the contact, you get the opportunity to go to the free throw line, something that Coleman and Morris did not get a chance to do in the first half. That time, Coleman, taking it strong, gets the opportunities now.
At one point, Cavaliers led by 14. They had a 62-48 advantage.
That play for New Jersey was designed to free up Drazen Petrovic for the outside shot or let him be the person to enter the ball. They are not doing a good job of freeing him up. At the same time, Gerald Wilkins paying very special attention to Drazen.
Coleman, 81% free throw shooter. And the Cavalier lead is down to 6. Cheeks reaching in for the steal. Maurice Cheeks, the NBA's all-time leader in steals, comes up with a big one. The Nets have scored 6 consecutive points. They're trailing by only 6. Just under 6 minutes remaining in the game. Nance knocked it away. Shot clock at 4. Shot clock at 2. Coleman, yes!
Just by showing the ball and Nance going for the ball fake, it allowed Coleman to put the ball down with his left hand and get a much better look at the front of the rim. The first time he had no shot at all. The escape dribble is what did it for Derek Coleman.
8 unanswered points. Here's Price. Doherty with the save. Sanders. Sanders getting inside off the save from Brad Doherty to end the 8-0 run, and the Cavaliers have an 83-77 lead.
It's one of those big defensive rebounds that Dwayne Shinches could not come up with. Doherty saves it. It gives 2 points to Cleveland.
Shinches tried to back tap, and a loose ball foul is called.
Picking the pocket of Mark Price, Maurice Cheeks gives the Jersey Nets a chance to come up with another score. Then by ball fake, get him in the air, put it down. It gives a clean look to Derek Coleman.
Mark Price has to be very careful with the ball as he's guarded by Maurice Cheeks. Doherty. Gorgeous jump hook by Brad Doherty, avoiding the block. He has 18, Cavaliers by 8.
New Jersey is trying to wait to the last moment, but they're waiting a little bit too long to come over and give help on Doherty.
And Doherty upset as he is called for that foul.
When Brad Doherty gets the ball this low, this close to the basket, Coleman starts to come. Morris just misses the block, but it's a little bit too late. He's too much for Dwayne Shinches to handle. At the defensive end, he tries to get over on top side and get a piece of it. Probably was called for that left hand wrapped around the waist of Derek Coleman.
Derek Coleman has hit 5 out of 5 From the line, Doherty picked up his fourth. Nance also has 4. Williams has fouled out. Coleman with 30 points. He has had another splendid game. 4.5 remaining. Fourth quarter. The Cavaliers 85 and the Nets 78. Chicago Bulls are waiting in the wings. Price hits the foul. Shinsis assessed his third, and Mark Price, the NBA's best free throw shooter, will go to the line for the first time today.
It's not many times that Mark Price goes all the way to the basket for a score and a foul in the half-court offense. Most of the time, he penetrates and kicks out, or he's pulling up shooting jump shots.
14 for Price. All his points in the second half, and the Cavaliers open up a 10-point lead as we come up on 4 minutes remaining in the game. Cheeks, he's been off. Rebound Morris. Chris Morris controlling the offensive backboard. 21 points and 12 rebounds for Morris. The Cavaliers 88, the Nets 80. Now Wilkins handles against Petrovic. 3:45 remaining in the game. Nance played by Shinsis. Coleman on the rebound.
Chuck Daly trying to get him into a situation where he feels they have their best opportunity to score in case they're going to double team Coleman as they do to try and take the ball out of his hand.
Morris tried the 3. As well as Chris Morris has played inside with 7 offensive rebounds, and he's been able to convert points. Not able to hit the outside shot. The crowd urging the Cavaliers on. Doherty backing Shinsis. Cavaliers by 10. Just under 3 minutes remaining in the game. Chuck Daly wants a timeout. 21 for Morris with 12 rebounds, 7 off the offensive boards, and Coleman with 30 points and 30 rebounds. Cleveland 90, the Nets 80. Down to 2:45 remaining in the game. 5th and deciding game between the Cavaliers and the Nets. New Jersey with 2 and a 20 remaining in the timeout department. The Cavaliers with 3. Brad Doherty has 20 rebounds along with his 20 points. Facing a double team. Wilkins. And Nance gets to it. But his pass picked off by Cheeks. 2-on-1, and Cheeks. Let's see, was he fouled or did he lose possession? Apparently, you're right, man. It is being ruled the ball's deflected out, no foul call.
At the last moment, Cheeks was trying to decide whether to pass or take it to the basket. He lost the handle. Fortunately for New Jersey, the deflection off Mark Price. Ball goes back to New Jersey.
And now Cheeks sits down. Neil Robinson in the backcourt now with Drazen Petrovic. Petrovic, yes. That is only his 3rd field goal. He has 9 points. Cavaliers 90, the Nets 82, just under 2 minutes remaining in the game. First of our NBA playoff doubleheader here on, the triple header, I should say, here on NBC. Nance with a gorgeous shot. Nance able to hang and then hit. Foul committed by Dwayne Shinsis.
Nance uses the left arm for a little bit of protection that time to keep Dwayne Shinsis off him, takes the contact, and with one hand converts the shot.
Nance not able to complete the 3-point play. Will be followed by the Charlotte Hornets and the New York Knicks in game number 1, and then the conclusion of the triple header as Petrovic hits again. The LA Lakers and the Phoenix Suns in Phoenix in the 5th and deciding game of that series. foul given by Robinson. That's over the foul limit, and it will send Sanders to the line. He's a 76% free throw shooter and 4 of 4 today. Cavaliers now 10 of 11 from the line. That way off.
Cleveland has 3 full timeouts remaining. New Jersey 2 full timeouts and 1 20-second timeout remaining.
So Sanders missing on both. Nets down by 8. Minute 15 remaining. Fourth quarter. Morris. Nance with the rebound. Another key rebound by Larry Nance. He has 9 for the game. And Lenny Wilkins would like to use the clock a bit here.
As much as you can. Take it all the way down. Use the time up.
Here's Doherty. 22 for Doherty, along with 20 rebounds. Cavaliers by 10. Petrovic for 3. Look out, and a foul is called. Oh, Doherty and Morris had some words. A little shove by Doherty, and Morris took exception. That last foul called on Coleman. 37 seconds to go as Nance goes to the line.
The last couple times down, Jersey came right away and double-teamed Brad Doherty. This time, everyone stayed at home. He's left in a one-on-one situation with Dwayne Cinchas, and he's one of the best in the league at back-to-the-basket moves. You get him 4 feet in front of the rim, he's going to convert most times. Well,
the Cavaliers have missed their last 3 at the foul line after hitting their first 10. The Nets take a timeout. Cavaliers 95. The Nets 84. A gallant effort by this injury-hit Nets squad that has managed to take the Cavaliers to a 5th and final game as Coleman's three-point attempt was blocked. And the Cavaliers are headed to another meeting against the Chicago Bulls. Foul is given. Coleman gives the foul. 6.
You'd have to think that Cleveland, after taking the season series from the Chicago Bulls 3 games to 2, feels now that they're past this first-round matchup with the New Jersey Nets, this could be what they needed. Maybe a little wake-up call for this Cavalier team.
It was not easy for the Cavaliers to defeat the Nets. The Nets extend them to 5. The Cavaliers took a hammering in the local media as Coleman fires and hits the 3. He has 33 points, 7 seconds remaining. Cavaliers now lead 99-89. 99-89, Cleveland on top. You see time remaining. Derek Coleman leading the way with 33 points.
In a draining battle, the Cavaliers would once again beat the Nets 99-89 behind 24 points and 20 rebounds from 5-time All-Star Brad Daugherty and advance to the Eastern Conference Finals. But that's where Cleveland's run would end as the eventual NBA champion Chicago Bulls swept the Cavs 4-0. Thanks for watching this edition of Hardwood Classics on NBA TV. I'm Matt Weiner.